Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to Harv's World for another Friday night impromptu firefight. Farmer Too Cool, Eric Kuntz, Lifehawk, always infamous, and a few others floating around out there, I'm sure, because we got 9 people watching and only a few people saying anything so far, but I'm sure folks will get around to it. Mr. Green Jeans, hello. Welcome to the wild world of Captain Kangaroo, apparently. Yes, I know who Mr. Green Jeans was. I'm an old I watched him when I was a kid. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Everybody doing good? Jordan, how's it going, bud? Jordan picked out a nice suit this week. You were looking good there, man. You actually kind of remind me of my brother. You look a little bit like him. Oh, it's Friday. Impromptu Friday. Just a reminder, impromptu does mean impromptu. There's no guarantees on a Friday night, but we made it this time. KT, how's it going, my man? And I'm here with Caveman. No Sharko this evening. We haven't heard from him today. Mr. Tunks, how are you doing, bud? I hope everybody's having a good week. It was a really short week. Man, I've been so busy at work that time has just flown by. I swear, I pulled into my job on Monday morning, and next thing I knew, it was Thursday, and I was headed back home, which makes for very good work weeks, I have to say. Very good. I'm still a kid, Jordan. Whoever said I ever grew up? Oh, that's right. And our next Sunday stream will be on Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. And Caveman just drove the truck into the creek. Maybe Sharko did make it. I'm not entirely sure. KT says, "Hey, Caveman, if anybody drops into the members channel on the Discord, we'll be happy to drop down in there and chit chat with you guys, like we kind of made a habit of doing lately. Enjoying that." There's one thing I wanted to add, Eric, and I can't remember. It's been a while now. It might be possible that if your friend doesn't have the same DLCs that you do, that you could deactivate the DLCs that your friend doesn't have and still be able to play together. I can't remember. Was that a thing, Caveman?
That is a thing.
I thought so.
And hi everyone.
And I'm sorry, did I not say hi, Caveman? I apologize.
I don't know. I've been lagging kind of hard.
Okay. And you're right. You're right, Mr. Green Jeans. Being a kid is far more fun. So I'm sure you guys have probably tried this at this point, and we've told you about it a couple times. And this is going to be our playthrough to just get us through until we start the big challenge. And so one of the things that happens when you place industries, factories, and such, if you're on a map with enough fields, or if you're on a smaller map with smaller fields but you get lucky, farmers will offer their contracts to go to your industries. And so I'm going to show you here real quick because I don't have a lot of room. But we're harvesting this canola in field 13 to take the product to Slippery Stuff Oils. Well, that's our oil factory. And so basically what's going to happen here is we're going to get paid to harvest this field, and then we're going to get a whole bunch of canola for free. Now, I'll tell you, as a general rule, this is not how I would normally play. It feels far too much like field flipping to me. You're getting something for nothing, which would never happen. At least when you're delivering product to some other sale point, you're assuming in the annals of the game that farmer is getting paid for their crop. But we're not paying for this crop. We're just loading it into our oil mill and then the farmer's going to pay us for harvesting up their field. Now, the flip side to this is industries generally don't have, unless you've got modded industries like we do, don't have a lot of room for crop to store. I think they usually cap out at about $250,000. So if you get
Something like that.
yeah, if you get too carried away, you'll end up like we did, sitting on a whole bunch of oats and wheat that we couldn't complete the contract for, simply because we couldn't get it into our flour mill. So we had to wait like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months for our flour mill to process that stuff to get it down far enough so we could complete those contracts. But it is what it is. And we got bad connection. People have gotten awfully quiet all of a sudden. And they're dropping like flies. Jordan wants to know if you're feeling better, Caveman.
I'm feeling some better, yes.
Oh, there's Too Cool. Hey, Too Cool. I heard that FedEx and UPS are planning a merger, and they're going to change their name to FedUps. Hey, Sean Donovan, how you doing, bud? Oh well, at least I've got Mr. Adolphus Courage to keep me company, and that's what Friday nights are really all about. So what have you been up to this week, Caveman, besides feeling miserable?
That's about it.
Hey, Easy Rider. Welcome back, man. I know you're hit or miss depending on your road time. Paul. Wait a minute. You're a video gamer and you actually had a girl ask you to do anything? What? Girls don't like geeks, right? Well, that's one down. We've only got 2 more to go, and then we got our own fields to harvest today too, actually. And you can't even tip this in yet, can you?
I should be able to. Why?
Oh, I thought it would start going to the wrong contract since I took more than one.
Oh,
Haven't we
I
had that?
don't know.
Haven't we had that problem before?
I don't know.
And how much did you end up with, by the way?
74,305.
74,000, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think we'd
And
get
he didn't
any.
even clean sweep the field.
I know there's a couple little dinky patches, not much left, but. Hey, Mel. Yeah, I understand. It's impressive that Caveman actually does the Friday nights with me because it's only 8 p.m. here, so. But he's a late night kind of guy. 15 shots of whiskey. And you're alive to talk about it? Dude. Wow.
All I gotta say is it must have been some good whiskey.
No, it was a good looking girl. Doesn't matter what the whiskey tastes like as long as you got a good looking girl there with you. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Ended up with maybe a foot of snow. Some places had way more. Yeah, I actually saw a couple 3 inches of snow on Monday and Tuesday. And then by Thursday, when I drove back home, it had all melted off and it was 60 degrees. It's just that time of year, right? 15
I'm gonna tip
shots.
a little bit and see what happens.
15 shots. I'm not even joking when I say you're still here to talk about it. That's a lot of alcohol, man. Unless it was like over the course of about 6 hours. But we're talking shots, which means they were probably done pretty quick.
Okay, yeah, it's still broken. Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's all canola, so it shouldn't affect us too bad.
Not should.
I saw 3 inches, that's right. And that was after I moved my belly out of the way.
What, 35?
Lifehawk's been doing basically a survey this week of people's gaming habits. I think he's trying to justify his own addiction. Actually, he's gotten deep into Forza 5 and finds himself playing much longer sessions than what he normally would. And so he's asking other people, "What's the longest you've ever played?" In an effort to not feel like he's the only one who ever, spent 24 to 36 hours in front of a computer.
If your gaming session is shorter than 72 hours, you're doing okay.
Says Caveman, who at one point was a very avid WoW player, right?
Very.
Is this my field 40 right here?
That is field 40 right there.
Good.
I don't know, they're not blinking anymore.
No, they're blinking for me. This is definitely canola, so I guess I could have expanded my mini map, but where's the fun in that? So I'll throw the question out to all you guys. What's the longest gaming session you have ever had?
Do you count if you fell asleep, smacked your head on your keyboard, and woke back up and continued playing where you left off?
Nodding off is one thing. If you fell asleep for 45 minutes, probably that doesn't count.
If that doesn't count, then 72 hours.
Holy crap, dude. I know mine was somewhere between 24. I said 36 earlier, but I really think it was more like 48. Somewhere between 24 and 48 hours. And that was on the original initial release of EverQuest. Back in 1999. Paul, you are a junkie, man. 24 hours on FS22. Wow. What map was that on, if you don't mind me asking? Early days of WoW PvP 40-hour battlegrounds. Good lord.
Oh yeah, battlegrounds last 40 hours plus sometimes. Most of the time, if it went longer than like 3 or 4 hours, the team that won because the other team decided to quit because they were getting tired.
I remember playing Battlegrounds, but I don't remember them lasting that long.
You must have not been with a hardcore group.
I never played hardcore. That didn't even appeal to me. I mean, it would have been nice to have all the amazing gear and stuff, but the headaches you have to go through to get it, forget about it. Mr. Green Jeans, probably close to 48 hours at one of those old Quake LAN parties. Oh, that's awesome, Mr. Green Jeans. I miss the old LAN parties. We had such a good time with our friends, right?
Oh yes.
It's not the same with mics and headsets on the internet. You're in the same room. You have to hardwire all your machines together. Yeah, better than a Super Bowl party. I could see that, Paul. No Man's Land, 48 hours on No Man's Land? Or, no, 24 hours on No Man's Land. I could see that. That's a little bit of a different animal.
Not to mention some of those LAN parties you were cramming like 8 or 9 people in a room that was barely big enough to have 3 or 4 full setups in.
Right?
You get those big old heavy CRT monitors.
Oh, yeah. I remember hauling mine around.
Yeah, I remember trying to haul my 24-inch one around. That was a mistake.
And then when everybody started getting flat screen monitors, you couldn't get rid of those CRTs. Like nobody would even take them to recycle them. And you sure as heck weren't going to sell them.
They are good for some or some arcade machine replacements.
Oh, that's a good point. Alterac
Matter of
Valley.
fact,
Oh, go ahead.
I'll say matter of fact, that's what we did with my 24-inch instead of arcade machine.
Alterac Valley has some sort of world record. I don't doubt it. In the original WoW release, they shut off the battleground at the 12-hour mark. Probably more for internet capabilities. But PvP complained it was too short.
At one point in time, the 2v2s, 3v3s, and 5v5s were unlimited amounts of time. Now they're regulated to 30 minutes max.
Wow.
And I remember the longest match I had was 2.5 hours, and it come down to Blood Death Knight versus Blood Death Knight.
Yeah, I've heard how overpowered they were. Henry Cavill's told where he was in the middle of playing World of Warcraft and he got the call that he got the part of Superman and he missed the call because he was playing WoW. That's awesome. I guess Vin Diesel actually is a big, he's actually a big RPG tabletop gamer. Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. All right, I'm gonna slaughter this name. So, Getsu. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you Midge. 72 LAN party while I was yeah. That's when we were having the big ones too. When I was in college.
Never went to college, so it was all high school and after high school.
You've been to college, you just don't know it. It wasn't a classical education. You're one of the smartest guys I know. I hope he called him back, Jordan. Like, hey, Mr. Director, What are you bugging me for? I'm in the middle of a big WoW raid, and you're calling to tell me that you want me to be your stupid Superman? Don't you know that my Death Knight is. Yeah. Yeah, what's he gonna say? No, I don't want to make $12 million for 3 months of work. Oh, here, you guys that were old WoW players, I know what Lifehawks is. I'll let him tell you though. Caveman, did you just get dropped?
Yes, if you can even understand me,
Yeah, I can hear you now.
because I can't understand a word you're saying.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too, Midge. Yeah, EQ was my first gaming addiction. The original EverQuest, when it came out in 1999, I was on it like a carb on it, and I mean, I'm almost sure now that I think back, there were probably some 48-hour gaming sessions there. Oh, okay. Dad says I got your name right. Dad says so. I couldn't get it right at first. It took me a while to sort it out. Dad says so. Mr. Green Jeans. I'll never remember the two, so that's just where I'm at these days. The 80s, the early to mid 90s. The internet didn't really become a major thing until late 90s.
We were doing LAN parties all the way up until like 2015, 2016.
Oh, wow.
But then again, we still don't have real internet in my area.
Well, that's fair. Apparently, Lifehawk's kid says everything is from the 80s. So, Lifehawk asked me earlier what my guild's name was back in the day. And so I'll ask you guys, what guilds were you members of? I know Caveman's probably got a few he could share.
Uh, Filth of Creation, Iron Wolf Clan. Those were the two big ones. You see, then there was the Drunken Monkeys and Fat Kids Lag in Real Life.
That's so awesome. Fat kids lag in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You were the healer, Mister. You were the healer, Mister Green Jeans, and you fell asleep on your teammates in EverQuest. You didn't walk out of a major city without a healer next to you in EverQuest. It was real hardcore when it came out. Like you did not solo EverQuest, not at all. Nobody could solo. You clerics were in extremely high demand, especially skilled clerics. You didn't even think about trying to solo an EverQuest. And you had to do corpse retrievals, so if you died deep in a dungeon, you'd have to get a group of your friends to work their way back down to your corpse to get your stuff back. Yeah, it was brutally hardcore. Austin Zipser. Kid can't get a job, so he plays Farm Sim. Having to run guild timelines is why you solo farmed your okay. And by the time epic items came around, there were a few classes that could solo. But that was, gosh, that was a couple years in. Druids and Necromancers were the two solo classes in EverQuest. If you were a warrior, forget about it. You couldn't solo a rat. Oh yeah, but this was before Necros were high enough level to summon. Oh, I see where we're at.
It's not letting me get back on.
Oh,
It keeps telling me you have no internet connection.
oh, lovely. Sarcasm. Where would we be without it? Well, if we didn't have sarcasm, there would be so many internet trolls who didn't get the attention that they want. Amazing.
Apparently now it's working.
Oh, good.
I remember the first character I had that was soloing stuff in WoW was a rogue.
Yeah, WoW always provided you the opportunity to solo. I never had a problem soloing anybody in WoW.
I don't mean soloing single things, I mean soloing dungeons.
Holy crap. Right, Lifehawk? Oh, he just lives in a bad spot, Eric.
Yeah, the tower that my internet comes from is apparently getting worked on. It's been doing this for the past 3 days.
Oh, yeah. Diablo was great. I think I played the first two. I know I played the first one. Pretty sure it was either the second or the third.
Never played the first one, but I did play the second and the third one.
Somebody's mommy didn't wipe his bottom properly today. He needs some attention.
What did I miss?
Oh, just somebody who wants attention by being insulting and condescending. You know, he's got nothing better to do on a Friday night, so he comes to a small stream to be harassing. He won't be bothering us anymore. That would be a nice feature, Eric. It really would. But do we want that much realism in our simulation?
I think it would be a nice thing that you could turn on and off.
Yeah, I think it should be optional. I agree with that. And yeah, Mr. Green Jeans, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I remember the early stages of WoW. It was brutal. You'd be level 15 and a level 10 mob could one-shot you. But
Yeah.
and that would be the stuff in the starting area.
Nope. WoW was
But
not brutal. I'm sorry to disappoint you. If you played the first year of EverQuest, there is not an MMO made today that can be called brutal on any level.
nope, I never played EverQuest.
Oh man, that first year, it actually it was the game maker, not the developer, but the guy who was in charge of the product, and he was just a hardcore gamer guy, and he wanted it as hardcore as possible, and I don't know if it was Sony Interactive, and I can't remember the name of the company that ran EverQuest at the time. They finally replaced him, and that's when things started to get more user friendly for players. Yeah, I'd agree with that assessment, Lifehawk. It's not a pure simulation. You're right about that. It's as close as people want to get to their food without actually having to produce it themselves. Oh, that would be lousy, Eric. Oh, that would be absolutely lousy. Oh, Midge, I totally remember zone to train, or zone to train, train to zone. In oh, what was that place with all the knolls outside of Kinos? Oh yeah, you'd go in there and mobs would randomly just run off and then trigger. Any mob they were close to would get triggered, and so all of a sudden you would have a horde, a total horde coming after you, and everybody had a hotkey to hit train to zone, and you would just start running for the because you could zone out of the area and the mobs couldn't follow you. Oh, that's sad to hear. Yes, Brad McQuaid, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. He was a good guy. He was just a hardcore gamer. Robert Feltz. Yeah, Friday's become our impromptu night, man. When we all just chill and pick up our favorite adult beverage and just farm for a while. Or in my case, my favorite adult beverage or 12. I would like to see irrigation actually. I mean, I live in Nevada. You don't grow grass without irrigation here. And grass is a major commodity. Literally. And alfalfa. The major cash crop in Nevada is alfalfa and alfalfa seed. There's a bit of trivia you did not know. Ever played? I've not played League of Legends. I'm sure we're all aware of it, being old school RPGers and whatnot. But I never played it.
I think I played League of Legends for like 10 minutes, and that was it.
There was another one that was similar to League of Legends that Blizzard did, but I can't remember what it was called. And I played that one quite a bit. What was that? They use it to feed cattle, Lifehawk. Alfalfa makes very high quality hay, and it is very much cattle feed. This is an area known specifically for beef cattle production. A lot of beef cattle in Nevada, and what comes with it is a lot of hay production. Well, when we have the water, but we've been in a drought for the last 3 years, so things are not pretty at the moment. Nah, it wasn't Dota and it wasn't Guild Wars. Haven't tried supplying contract mod missions yet, or transport contracts yet. I agree, Mr. Green Jeans. They should have included alfalfa. A lot of times, alfalfa hay, it's because it's such a rich form of hay, they do use it as a high quality horse feed, too. That's right. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Was it an older Blizzard game or a newer Blizzard game?
I'm sure it's still on whatever Blizzard's launcher is. I can't remember what it's called now, though. I haven't fussed with it in quite some time.
Was it Overwatch?
Nah, it's not Overwatch.
Okay.
I don't think Overwatch was Blizzard anyway, was it?
Overwatch is Blizzard.
Nah, this was like a, I don't know, a four-man, almost League of Legends type. Uh, and it was real similar. It felt very similar. Ah, crap, I can't remember. Played quite a bit of it, but I can't remember what it was called. Darn it. Oh well.
It was a battle royale type thing.
Yeah, yeah, but it was, it was usually like 4 or 6 versus 4 or 6. It's not Overwatch.
The only one I can think of.
I can't even remember the name of the Blizzard launcher now.
Literally, Blizzard launcher.
No, no. Maybe it's not Blizzard. I'm thinking. I'd have sworn it was Blizzard though. No, but StarCraft was awesome. I did enjoy StarCraft. BattleNet, that's what it was. BattleNet.
Oh yeah, BattleNet.
Yeah, if you look at BattleNet, Mr. Green Jeans, you'll see it. It's not that old. I probably played it less than 5 years ago.
It's
200,
not that old.
two, 248,000 liters of diesel. What map are you playing, Midge? That sounds like an Alien Gym thing. Or you're on a mod map with diesel production.
Or he's got the delivery contracts.
Oh, yes, that's what he was asking about delivery contracts. So, yes, that makes complete sense. Durr. Heroes of the Storm, that's the one.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Green Jeans. That was fun.
Now that one I have played.
It's fun, nice little, short sessions to occupy your time for an hour or two. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. Oh, Caveman's a big fan of Chainsaw Valley. If we're not careful, we might end up on Chainsaw Valley. So we had a plan for our big challenge, the $1 million a month challenge that we're going to do in the not too distant future. But the map we were going to use is turning out to maybe be a little bit questionable. So I don't know where we're going with that yet. I do know we are waiting until Precision Farming comes out next Tuesday. Is the official release date for Giants to finally include precision farming. All of you savvy environmentalists out there will be overjoyed. And actually, any farmer in this day and age who isn't a bit of an environmentalist probably isn't doing it quite right. Anybody playing North Bay? That's a fair point, Lifehawk. But I don't think WoW really allows for much in the way of modding. Call me Quathy. Yeah, StarCraft was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the crap out of that. I had a friend who was, I don't know, I think he was actually just trying. I don't think he ever got close, but I think he was actually trying to be competitive. Couldn't do it. Not me. I do not have that level of skills, or that type of skills, but he was very serious about StarCraft for a long time.
There was a ton of add-ons available for World of Warcraft.
Add-ons?
They allowed you to do things like scan the auction house, post auctions, bulk craft a bunch of things before bulk crafting was a thing.
Really?
Change your UI and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I do remember UI.
They're not technically mods because they do not modify anything on the server side.
Right.
It's all client-side add-ons.
Now, StarCraft was good stuff. I did enjoy it. I just didn't get into it the way he did. I'm like, I just want to build some Marines and some tanks and go blow stuff up. I don't want to, need to be able to type 90 words a minute just to be able to, just to win a match against somebody. Yeah, I remember that stuff now, Lifehawk. It's been a long, long time. A long, long time. I ran out of time to spend on MMOs more than a decade ago.
What would you have run out of time to spend on MMOs if that's what your YouTube channel had been based on?
Maybe. Well, here's the thing about MMOs, and it's like you guys were talking about, at least for me, is hardcore, hardcore gaming and being in major guilds and crap like that. That's all well and good, but I'm not going to sit staring at my computer screen for 2 frickin' hours waiting for people to get their crap together so we can go do a 15-minute raid. And that's what it takes to be in a hardcore guild, at least in my opinion, that's what it takes. And I'm not going to do that. That's a waste of my time. And I realize that there's dozens of people involved and they've all got different lives, but, your time is not more valuable than mine. So when this thing is scheduled for 8 o'clock, if you're not there at 8 o'clock, you don't go, period. End of discussion. Goodbye. We are leaving at 8 o'clock. We're not waiting because the guild leader all of a sudden had to wipe his daughter's poopy bottom, So that, I mean, and I'm not much of a joiner anyway. I'll be honest about that. I'm not much of a joiner to begin with, and then you throw that kind of crap on top of it, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care if means I get to ride on Dumbo the flying elephant wherever I want to go.
When you're empty.
Yep.
43.
Mr. Green Jeans, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about your stroke. I took care of my mother for 5 years after she had hers, and I know how brutal and debilitating those things can be. So it seems to me like you're doing okay at least, and I'm glad to hear that. Second of all, Team Fortress 2 was the bomb. Oh my god, I loved Team Fortress 2 so much. Hundreds. It might be the first game I ever broke 1,000 hours on Steam. Maybe I'm still not quite at 1,000. It's somewhere in the 900 to 1,000. But Team Fortress 2 was just incredible. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
So, 35.
There you go, Lifehawk. That's right. Yeah, exactly, Midge. The 1+ hour raid, pre-raid setup and planning. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I got better things to do with my time. So that's me. You know, it's your game. Play it your way, and that goes for every game, not just Farm Sim. But for me, I couldn't do it. What about it was the big thing for you, Harv? I never. Oh, wait. I need you to clarify that, Lifehawk. What about it was the big thing for you, Harv? I never played it.
I think he's talking about Team Fortress 2.
Oh, Team Fortress 2. It was just a game. It was a first-person shooter, and it was called Team Fortress 2 because it was the second variation. I never played Team Fortress. Um, it didn't take itself too seriously. The characters were very comical, but also reasonably well balanced and powerful. They all had their different skills um, that they were good at and made them special and unique. So, and there were 12 different, as I recall, there were 12 different character classes. They all had different personalities. Um, and it made for some really good, nice, well balanced matches against the opposing team. And I think because the game didn't take itself too seriously, I don't feel like the players took the game too seriously like a lot of first person shooters do. It was more just a relaxed, let's go in and have some fun and blow the crap out of everybody as much as we possibly can. I'm sure you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean that's just, and it's still very active. Oh, and it was free to play too, 100% free. They had some interesting collectibles that you could shoot for, things like that. Different types of the hats were the first thing. There's other stuff now, or there was when I quit playing. Um, it was just fun, and you didn't care if you died, because you would respawn, or if you died too often, you'd have a respawn timer. You'd have to wait to run out, but it wasn't anything too dramatic. It's not like Apex Legends where it's all seriousness and everybody needs to go kill each other. And I played Apex for a long time too. Um, Just realized I'd gotten older than my reflexes would allow. First person shooters anymore. But that's what it was for me. You know, that's what Team Fortress was. It didn't take itself too seriously. It was just jump in, have some fun. The matches were reasonably short. It was good times. Da da da. Oh, Team Fortress started as a mod to Quake. I didn't know that. That's cool though. That's true. That's true, Lifehawk. Nothing like positive word of mouth. Okay, that's actually interesting, Mr. Green Jeans. Big Block Entertainment. Welcome to Harv's World. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button, man. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Welcome.
I remember Doom, Paul, and I may have played at least one version of it. I never played any kind of competitive or, like, you know, PvPs or anything. I do remember Doom, though. Oh, an Unreal Tournament. I remember Unreal Tournament also. Caveman's sitting there going like, what in the heck are you guys talking about?
I know what Doom is. I know what Unreal Tournament is. I know what Quake is.
Fair enough. Hey, Big Block. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that FS19 tutorial series is still doing everybody so much good. You're in good company. A lot of these people here learned the exact same way you did. What features do I like more in FS22? I'll tell you the thing with FS22, and I know at least one person, and probably several in here will agree with me, is FS22 really included a lot of quality of life features. And they made the, for me at least, the interface is much more streamlined, easier to understand. And I really do like the fact that they decided to base game incorporate productions. I think it brings a lot to the game to have that kind of thing to work toward. And while I don't necessarily think they did the best job with the base game industries, I think there are plenty of modders out there who are going to make up for that. I think I've heard of Tribes, Mr. Green Jeans, but I don't quite remember. I'd swear I've heard of it. It sounds really familiar. FF, how's it going, man? Is life getting more squared away for you these days? And we lost Caveman again. So he's probably digitized and he can't understand a word that I'm saying.
Yeah, I heard can't understand a word that I'm saying.
Okay, I got you. FF, thank you so much. Very generous of you, man. You are a pal. In fact, do you have access to Discord, Caveman?
Yes, I do.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Would you like me to drag us down to the
Yeah.
chat?
Is anybody in there?
Too Cool is.
Oh, yeah, let's get in there.
Alright.
And then, only made you $787,000. That's all? Wow. Well, if FF wants to join us in there, he can too. I'm pretty sure he's a member of the channel, I mean. Nah, you're fine too, cool. We had been in the admin only channel where we normally stream from, and I had said we'd drop into voice if anybody showed up, and then I guess we weren't paying attention.
It's all good.
Sorry about that.
All good. I've just been listening.
How are the roads tonight, man?
Lots of Easter traffic, it looks like. Lots of Easter traffic.
That sounds like fun.
Oh boy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Gotcha, FF.
Loud
Yeah,
and
we're
clear,
talk-
man. You're booming.
So I know I heard you talking about Doom earlier. Do you know the mod for Doom Brutal UAC Labs?
Wait, say that again?
There's a mod for Doom called Brutal UAC Labs.
Nope. Was never that into Doom.
Okay.
Sounds brutal, though.
It was. It was rightfully named.
Did you guys ever play... Got into zombie games really big time for a long time. Did you ever play Killing Floor 2 or Left 4 Dead? Either of the Left 4 Deads?
Yes, I played Left 4 Dead.
The Left 4 Dead series was really good. The group of folks I was playing Left 4 Dead with, we actually completed every Steam achievement available to Left 4 Dead, including the one where you had to kill like 58,000 zombies.
What was that zombie game where you're locked in a mall?
That was Left 4 Dead 2.
No, it's not a Left 4 Dead.
You're locked in a mall?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It's not a Left 4 Dead one, it's another one.
I know there was a Left 4 Dead episode where you had to fight your way out of a mall, and you ended up leaving in some, and this was Left 4 Dead 2, you ended up leaving in some stock car racer's car that happened to be there on show for the week. Yeah, if we can fill that thing up with fuel, we could get out of here. So you had to run around and collect these fuel cans while killing zombies.
This one you ended up leaving the mall in a helicopter off the top of the mall.
Oh. Well, there was
And yes.
in Left 4 Dead there was a hospital that you had to fight your way through, and you ended up leaving in a helicopter at the end.
Yeah, I remember that. I know this was not Left 4 Dead. It was another game.
Resident Evil?
No, it wasn't Resident Evil.
Mr. Green
I
Jeans
remember having
asked
to-
if you were playing as a reporter.
I don't remember. I remember having to fight a clown to get a chainsaw.
See, there were clowns
And I
in Left 4
remember
Dead
a
2
bunch
also.
of rednecks in the courtyard in a army truck.
And that all sounds like Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 to me.
I know it wasn't Left 4 Dead. That's it. Dead Rising. Thank you.
Dead Rising, interesting. Okay.
Dead Rising. That was a good game.
There was a really brutal zombie game, and a new version of it just came out too. It's called Dying Light. That was some hardcore survival zombie stuff right there.
And yes, to answer your question, life is settling itself
Oh,
pretty
good.
well.
That's good.
I have a brand new apartment with my name on it that is going to be ready mid-June, late or early July.
Oh, good for you, man. Congratulations. And you're back in your hometown now, right?
Yes, have been since about the end of January.
And you're going to school for IT computer stuff?
No, I gave that up because I was not finding interest in it anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was not my cup of tea. I thought it was, but I was wrong. So I think I'm going to revert back to either construction or something like that. So
hey,
just got to get settled so I can go to college. So one step at a time.
good you found out early before you spent all that money, right?
Yeah, I only ended up having to pay $85 back. So that
Oh,
was
very
not
cool.
bad.
out of 16,000. I think that's not a whole lot.
Yeah,
No.
no.
Can't complain about that. I'll let you pay my student loans off if you want to.
I think I'll pass.
What kind of construction are you thinking about, FS? Like heavy equipment part
Legos.
of it, or what?
Sorry, I'm trying to eat and talk. So, I don't know. I had thought about heavy equipment operator, but I also thought about stick frame too. So,
Well, if you do the heavy equipment operator, learn how to run an excavator and a bulldozer. You'll be set.
I'll tell
I
you,
also
man.
thought about the coal mine too.
If you have any interest whatsoever, the trades need skilled plumbers and electricians badly, and you can make bank. Or HVAC. HVAC is big too.
Well, I remember speaking with this gentleman. He was telling me he's been an electrician for over 20 years, and he makes $100 an hour.
Yeah, if reach out to Sparky in the Discord. I think his name is still Sparky. He's a certified electrician also, and he can give you a lot of insight into it if you got questions and stuff. But yeah, the skilled trades, they really, really, really need people to start looking into apprenticeships and journeyman positions and stuff like that. See, what happened is back in the 80s and 90s, everybody got into their head that the only way to get a halfway decent job was to have a college degree. And that still perpetuates itself today. The problem is that means everybody going through high school feels like they have to have a college degree, and not as many people are going into the skilled trades, so it's left a shortage in the blue collar markets. So Resident Evil was Resident Evil was that bad, huh? Wow. Yeah, Dying Light did have an awful lot of parkour type stuff in it, didn't it? I agree with that. And Mr. Green Jeans has a son who's a crane operator, so feel free to ask him any questions you might have right now. Did I lose everybody? I know Caveman keeps dropping off.
I'm still here.
Oh,
just
okay.
Being quiet.
Yep, I'm here.
All I hear is digital static, so
Would that
Well,
be-
it's his. It's not on his, or it's his incoming that's having an issue. His outgoing's fine because we can hear him clear as day.
No, that's a fair point.
It may be his router.
No, it's definitely his internet.
they're working on the tower that I get my internet from.
When are they just gonna run hard lines through your area?
They've been running lines through my area since the 80s. It hasn't got here yet.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I want a discount then. Did we lose Harv?
You know I'm always here. I just drop out once in a while when you guys start having a little conversation. Gives my voice a rest. I need people to pick up the conversation once in a while so I can regroup and think of other interesting but worthless information to provide.
No, Eric, I'm not on satellite. I'm on a, well, they call it a mobile hotspot, but it's not one of the ones that only does Wi-Fi. It actually has like 5 or 6 Cat 5, or yeah, Cat 5 plugs on the back.
It's a mobile hotspot that's not all that hot. Is that what you're saying?
That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, right now it's not doing too hot.
A mobile cold spot?
There you go.
He's got that Arctic internet.
I'd have sworn I just saw rain starting to fall. But I was wrong.
I'll tell you what though, in between these two jobs, switching jobs, I'm enjoying this little bit of a vacation. Some me time and I can get caught up on some sleep.
So, you picked up a second job or you switched jobs?
I switched jobs. I won't tell the story of why, but not right in just general public, but we'll save that for later.
FF got fired. He got fired. Ha ha ha
No,
ha.
it wasn't fired. I didn't.
No, it's fine. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah,
What's
it was a whole situation.
What's your new job gonna be?
I know I've said always that I would never do it, but it's gonna be fast food. McDonald's is all that's left in town without a driver's license. So
Yeah, but they're paying like 60 grand a year to flip burgers, so can't complain about
not
that.
here. 11 an hour. That's it.
That's high dollar, man.
No,
For
no, it ain't.
unskilled labor? Yes, it is. What national minimum wage is only like 7.25. Anyway,
Yeah. Anywho,
whatever.
That's
I was making.
$5 for a no skill required job.
In 6
Well, the
months,
last
you'll be
job-
a manager. So what are you worried about?
Well, yeah, but here's my thing. But the last job was that needed no skill, and I was making $13.50 an hour.
I don't know what to tell you. If you've exhausted all of your job-bearing resources, I guess you're going to work at McDonald's or move.
I ain't moving. I'm staying right where I'm at. I'm happy here.
Well, there you go. Jordan, got some interesting news. Moving. So you just got this apartment, Jordan. You were all excited about it. Your parents are selling the building. What are they going to do that to you for? Like, Mom, Dad, you can't sell the building out from under me. I just got this place. OMFGWTF. Going to be moving into another set of apartments. Oh, okay. They've got another building that they're going to move you to. Okay, well, that's good at least.
They weren't happy with the internet service.
In Canada, apparently, minimum wage is $15 an hour, but that's Canadian, so. And half of that goes to the government for taxes.
I was gonna say that's because they get free health care from the government. So
XFL, that's not exactly new. It's a reboot, right? XFL was around a long time, or for a while ago, and died off, and they're going to try to resurrect it. And oh, there was a comment Lifehawk made earlier, and I don't remember directly what it was referring to, but oh, zombie games. Did you ever play zombie games? And he said marriage. Which made me think of an old joke. I was on the elevator with my wife, and we got into an argument. Man, I was wrong on so many levels. And I play Harley, if you're out there listening. No offense. I don't want to get canceled. This is not a Me Too movement thing. Final canola contract. Bloody complete. Thank Christ. USAL? Just turn left, caveman. Turn left. There you go.
Gross.
I'm empty. We are headed for our own fields.
Oh, you're headed for our fields. I'm headed for the dump point.
Oh, well, that's just our farm.
Oh, there's a trailer there.
There was.
It's still there.
Mostly. It's not quite where I left it, is it?
No, it's definitely not where you left it. But it's still there.
It's alright. I said...
Kind of hard to play with 3,000 ping.
Oh, come on. What is it with elevators that make couples fight?
Because somebody just had to push all the buttons.
Oh, good one, caveman. That's right. Somebody pushed all the buttons.
And then that's when the suspense starts rising.
Yes, that's when the suspense starts rising. Just like my blood pressure.
Same.
Oh, well, that's cool, Jordan. That's actually kind of cool. The new football league is called the USAL? Okay. I'm not a sports guy, so you guys got to fill me in on this stuff. I have no clue. And I'm not too proud to admit it. I'm clueless when it comes to sports. Although I am smart enough not to comment on the whole transitioning male to female Olympic swimmer whatever thing that's going on right now. Gentlemen, never ever have an opinion on that. I promise you, that would be one of the worst things you can do. Just saying, don't tell me you weren't warned.
Well, Harv, don't feel bad. You don't know nothing about sports, but farming's a sport.
Farming.
If you think about it, yeah, it could be. You could look at it as a competition. I mean, they do the farm sim league, so.
That's not farming, though. The farm sim league isn't farming. That's a bunch of guys running around on tractors making bales. Lifehawk has an opinion. And now we know why Lifehawk is very, very single.
Same with me. I'm very opinionated, and a lot of people don't like that. That's okay. You don't have to like me.
It's not an issue of being opinionated. Just this one particular issue is not an issue men have any business sticking their noses in. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, all the canola is in and contracts are completed.
Excellent. How much extra canola did we end up with?
I don't know.
Oh, you just tipped it all?
It didn't give me a notification saying anything was complete till after I was done emptying.
Well, that's fine. How much is in our oil mill now?
375,000.
You might want to grab a tractor and bring a baler over here. Just saying.
What field are we at?
24. Our own field.
You mean 20 and 21?
No. Oh, yes, 20. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said 24. Yeah, I do. Because I'm on my 5th course, so.
We were talking about buying 24 last time.
Mr. Green Jeans. I learned how to improve my relationship with my wife. Divorce. I know I read out loud some of what you guys type, but I also know that some of you guys aren't necessarily watching chat. You're playing or doing other things while we chit-chat here. So, just FYI. That's why I read out loud.
That's me, and it helps out a lot.
You're not watching, but you're running down the road at a pretty good pace.
Yeah, please, by all means, don't watch.
Yeah, you need to watch the road, not us.
I am. I'll be right back.
Paul. Men and women have difficulties in elevators because men fart in the elevator.
We're just trying to get to our location a bit faster, that's all.
How does farting help with that?
Gives it,
It
more
involves
gas.
the matching rollerblades.
There you go.
Oh, the old match and rollerblades trick. I forgot about that.
Dumb and Dumber trick 101.
This field is kind of busted. There's a whole strip on one end that does not apparently plant.
Yeah, the worker probably got paid minimum wage.
I've never been divorced, I have to admit. Oh wait, I've never been married either. I think one almost has to precede the other, so. I don't know, just never got around to it. Never found the one. Or, you know, maybe I didn't want to stick anybody with me for that long. Whatever it is. For those of you who did find the one, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. And also think you need to seek counseling, but that's my opinion. Oh, come on. Thank you. I don't know what that was, but I think somebody just farted in the elevator.
Wasn't me.
The first one to say it wasn't me is the dirty one. Always
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
Either that or you could look at it as the smeller's the feller.
He who smelt it dealt it.
He who denied it supplied it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, there's two different versions of it.
Oh, there's multiple versions of it, I'm sure. Let no straw go to waste. You know, it doesn't seem like much money up front, but especially when you start looking at bigger fields, just don't chop your straw. I'm telling you, straw is a valuable commodity. Grain crops, cereal crops produce a lot of straw, and it builds up quickly. And even though it's only worth, I don't know, 75 to $100 1,000 liters, when you've got 500,000 liters, that's a lot of freaking money to throw away.
Got that right.
See, Jordan, I've also heard the other version. Beans, they're good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. The more you fart, the better you feel. So eat some beans for every meal. Have we really deteriorated into fart songs? Yes, we have.
Apparently.
Why? Because it's Friday frickin' night. And if we feel like doing fart songs, we're going to do fart songs. Does this dress, do I look fat in this dress? No, the dress just makes you look fat. That's awesome. No, honey, it's all the dress's fault. That's a smart man right there.
Well, that would be the point that I would look at her and go, well, how strong do you think our marriage is before I answer?
That's one of those no-win situations that men get put into frequently. I'm like, if you wanted an honest answer, you wouldn't be asking me.
Like, literally the first thing that would cross my mind if a girl asked me that would be, well, it was a good run while it lasted.
The first thing that would cross my mind is, I plead the fifth.
Well,
I don't have to testify to anything that would incriminate me.
Or just pretend you didn't hear and she'll say, never mind.
Well, here's the situation you get put in. It's, do I look fat in this dress? No, honey, you look great. You lied to me. My friend told me I look fat in this dress. Or it's, do I look fat in this dress? Yeah, that dress kind of makes you look fat. What? Are you saying I'm fat? Blah, 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 blah. You're in trouble no matter which way you go, man.
It's a loaded question.
Exactly. It's a totally loaded question.
Or she goes, oh, you're just saying that to make me feel good. Now I gotta go pick out another outfit that'll take another 2 hours to get dressed and get ready.
Beans and black coffee for breakfast. Beans and black... I've never had beans for breakfast, and yes, I do know that that's traditional fry up. They do beans for breakfast in the UK. I know it's common. I'm not judging it. It's just not something we do over here. On this side of the pond, as y'all say.
You've never had beans for breakfast, or
No.
man, leftover baked beans are good for breakfast.
Oh well, that's a different story. I don't like
Still beans.
I don't like baked beans. There's actually a recipe floating around amongst people I know called Harv's beans that I used to bring to like all of our friend gatherings and stuff, and they're technically known as sweet and sour beans, but they're just more of a savory version of baked beans.
Okay.
Not completely uncensored, Paul, but close enough for government work.
If it was completely uncensored, it'd be titled After Dark.
And we'd have a whole different audience.
Oh yeah.
There you go. See, Easy Rider's got it. After 30 years of marriage, his answer was always yes, honey.
The only thing that I ever had a problem with was the honey-do list. And I wasn't even married. We were just dating, but the honey-do list just irritated the world out of me.
I always wanted to make one of my own.
Yeah, but then you're the one that's in trouble for doing it. It's like, you give me one, it's fair trade.
That's right. Honey, you need to get off your
Yeah.
lazy behind and go wash some dishes today while I'm at work. Oh, I'm old and cynical. What can I say? You guys are still young. You have all this to figure out on your own.
Nice to know that the baler finished baling the row I was on after I disconnected.
I saw that. He drove right into the trees, too.
Oh, he didn't even hit a tree. He drove right between them.
Well, something stopped him.
I know, when I hopped back in it was just taking off through the field like
I
nothing
do
ever happened.
I do want to know how somebody stays married for 30 years because honestly, I don't even want to do something fun for 30 years. Like 30 years from now, if I'm still playing Farm Sim, somebody needs to walk up to me with a very, very large handgun and pull the trigger. Because there is something seriously wrong with me. But with all due respect, and I genuinely mean this seriously, keeping a relationship intact for that long is seriously hard work and a serious dedication to commitment. And I genuinely applaud you for it. But dude, I don't know how you do it, man. So absolute positive respect on my part. And congratulations. But then again, this is a guy, this is coming from a guy whose mom said on more than one occasion, I love my kids, but if I had it to do over again, I would never get married. So there you go. I think I took that advice to heart because I never did. So now I'll just have to wait until I get checked into a retirement community where some very young, very hot and sexy young nurse has to bathe me on a daily basis. Hey, it's my fantasy. You can't take that
Requesting
away
them
from me.
6 sponge baths a day is requested.
That's right. It's my fantasy. Stop bursting my bubble.
Stop squeezing his sponge dry. Well, Mr. Harv, what scent of soap do you want? Hot nurse.
Yeah, 32 years. Good for them, Jordan. Good for them. You tell them Harv says congratulations and see how much that means to them. No, I really do mean it, guys. I really do. Like, congratulations. It's something to be proud of. It really, really is. We the old and the cynical can be as old and cynical as we want to, but when it comes down to it, you put the hard work in. You made it work for you. And honestly, I'm genuinely impressed by that. So, kudos. And more canola. Why? Because we thought it would be a good idea to plant canola. That was before we knew everybody was going to plant canola for us.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about mixed crops.
Grand Biscuit, if you don't have the terrible part of divorce to look forward to, life always looks better in the future. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
Take the word divorce out of the marriage, and a lot of good things can happen. Just totally take it out. Of course, I don't know if it's a good prescription, but look at me. I drive nights. I'm never, hardly ever with my wife. She travels a lot, and she's probably gone 30 weeks out here.
Wow.
And I work nights, so I think time apart is just as important as time with each other.
Well, I always said to a lot of my truck, or about a lot of my truck driver friends, I think a lot of the reason they stay married is because they never see each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the more you see each other, the more you have the opportunity to disagree with each other.
That's true. Well, that's what I've always said too. Is I could never work with my significant other. That's just too much together time, you know.
But yeah, no, that'll never work. Well, I imagine it works for some.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's the thing too. Is everybody's personality is different. So,
Yeah.
you know, what works for you and me isn't going to work for anybody else.
Right.
It has to be at least 30 then, Jordan. Or pretty darn close to it. Oh. You guys didn't expect us to do much more than just harvest a whole buttload of fields tonight, right? Friday nights literally really are just more about hanging out with you guys. Or those of you who want to hang.
I'm always up for a good hang on Friday nights.
I just haven't had any personal time here lately. I've been really busy with the fire department and trying to switch jobs and everything else. I haven't really even any free time that I got. I'm usually either resting or taking a breather.
No, I hear you.
I haven't even had a lot of game time. It's like, man, I don't even really miss it. Usually I go a couple weeks without it when I got like everything settled, and I miss it. But here lately, I've just been so busy I can't even focus on, like, oh my God, I missed that game. I got too much on my head outside of that to even like think about it.
Well, trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. Biscuit, that's a really good point. People weren't used to spending that much time together, and then they were quarantined. Believe it or not, that's a real phenomenon in like Japan and other Asian countries where there's some more traditional roles where women are staying home and raising families and whatnot, but the men are at work 16, 18 hours a day. And once the men retire, a lot of those couples actually end up divorcing because they don't really know how to spend that kind of time with each other. Walking on electric utility to shore up the power to a client's restaurant that went dead. Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. You could be doing that right now, FF.
What?
Fixing somebody's power at their restaurant because it went dead. And on that note, guys, I got to step away for a minute, so I'm going to put a helper on this harvester. Caveman's over there bailing and being quiet. FF will hopefully help keep you guys entertained, but I'll be back in just a minute.
Well, on the note of helping somebody fixing somebody's power, I know just enough to keep my job security with the fire department. Let's just put it that way. Not that I would do it on purpose by no means, but that's what it would come down to. I can't even wire a little motor for like a steering wheel, let alone a 110 or 220.
Electronics wiring versus house wiring is different.
Right, but I mean the house wiring's not as flimsy and brittle. Seems like the smaller the wire, the more brittle it is. And I got big fingers, so like I could do okay with like a power cord. I can wire a lamp, but outside of that, I just no. If it's coming to like wiring lights, like into a breaker or something, never done it.
You sound like me. You know enough to do some basic stuff, but it really, what it boils down to is you know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Somebody says, "Oh, I need a water heater installed." I'm not your guy. That's like lady I'm staying with. She has a gas water heater, and I'm like, I would end up not getting that gas line tight enough, and then leak, and then somebody would light a match, and the whole house would go boom.
Plumbing's not that hard, though.
Plumbing, I think my biggest thing with the plumbing side of it would be getting the angles right and getting the traps right. Other than that, I think I could do pretty well on plumbing, because I'm good at measuring.
You don't have to bend the pipe yourself.
Well, no, I'm saying, but like getting like the breathers for sewage pipes and all that stuff in the right distances, trying to remember all that, I think is where I would have a little bit of an issue, but all in time, I would think. No, I do know that much because I did work at a hardware store, so I know you don't have to bend the pipe for the traps for the sink. I do know at least that much.
You'd be surprised at how many people don't.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. That's some people, and that's why they work an office job, I couldn't work an office job. I don't know about the other people. If you can do that, more power to you, but I cannot sit. I have to move. I have ADD, so I have to be moving.
You have ADD or ADHD?
ADHD, my bad. Let's see. Yeah, that's the way it would be with me. The fire department would have to come out after I got done with the job, and I'd probably be on scene like, head down and helmet on. I didn't do this. Or it'd be like, I'm not responding to that because I just left that house.
That would be bad.
That would be really bad, yeah. That's about as bad as wrecking your tricycle. I mean, so I mean, what's everybody out there that's watching tonight? What do you guys do for a living? What do you do? Office jobs, trades, skills? I mean, let's get the chat hopping. Let's get some people talking tonight. Yeah, I lived about 3 blocks from the fire department where I was staying with my dad's house, and response time was pretty good because my dad would floor it to about 80 mile an hour. So about 2 seconds I was there. It's pretty sweet.
What was pretty sweet?
Oh, my response time with the fire department, I lived about 3 blocks away, and my dad would floor it to about 60 to 70 miles an hour just to get there quick.
3 blocks?
Just a second ago, you said 80.
60,
which is
70,
it?
80. I wasn't looking at the speedometer. I was too focused on what I needed to do when I got to the fire department. So, but he was going fast. I can guarantee he was over the speed limit.
Now that presents an interesting question, Mr. Green Jeans. So you worked in IT for 40 years. A, that's incredibly impressive, because that dates way back to the early era of computers. And B, you were in the United States Marine Corps. So what does a U.S. Marine, or how does a U.S. Marine end up retired in the Philippines? I find that incredibly intriguing. Call me crazy.
What's the sound coming out of the firehouse? Is it like radio sound, alarms, or what? You got me questioning that now.
That's a good question.
I mean, it could be a party. I mean, it could be a number of things. If it's a volunteer department, it could be just about anything.
And Jordan works in a pig barn for Maple Leaf Foods. Interesting.
What do you do in the pig farm? Do you, like, do it all, or just one certain job?
That's a good question too.
I'm trying to get the chat to moving, so
you'd be a good interviewer, FF.
I'm just good at talking.
You never talked in PV Uncharted though.
I know, but I was shy then. See, plus I was living with my dad, and he was like, "Don't make much noise." You know, it was that.
Ah. Oh.
If the fire isn't nearby, why come out of the house wailing? Well, if the fire is nearby, they don't need to come out wailing. But if it's farther away, then they need to get there pretty quick. So they do need to come out there pretty loud. Especially if they're on a main road. I don't know where you live or anything, but if they're on a main road, then they need something, you know, especially if they're coming out onto a highway or something.
Yeah, they got to come out loud so that the people that are nearby know to pull over and get out of the way.
Although they stop in the middle of the street anyway, so what's the point? But oh, the big red thing! Let me stop right in its way.
Or they're on a 4-lane highway, divided highway, and they still feel the need to pull over. Like, you don't need to stop on a 4-lane. You just get in the right lane and open up the fast lane.
No, not really. They still have to pull over.
No, they don't.
Pressure wash the pins.
No,
All
they
right,
don't.
Yeah.
No, legally they don't. They just need to get in the right lane and slow down.
Oh.
Legally, all they got to do is make a hole.
That's right. They do have to move to the right. They just don't have to pull over to the side of the road.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you. My bad. Yeah. No. Pressure wash the pins. All right. Yeah.
Oh,
That wouldn't-
Grand Biscuit, you work in Harlem, dude. That's hardcore.
What is Harlem?
That's an area of New York City.
What do you do in Harlem?
He's an electrician. He's helping.
Oh.
He's working on his friend's apartment or his
Nice.
restaurant. Right?
You can
Isn't
make
that
pretty
what
good
he
money.
said?
You can make pretty good money in New York doing that kind of stuff. Goodness.
Oh wow, Mr. Green Jeans. That's kind of what I expected, Mr. Green Jeans, but I had to ask. You know, married a local woman, and cost of living is much lower over there. So yeah, sure. Why wouldn't you retire? Absolutely, good for you.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about the cost of living down in those countries.
Well,
What was it? A couple
yeah.
weeks ago?
We talked with him at least, I'd say more like a couple months ago, but we did talk to him because weren't we talking about
We
what
were
are
talking
those?
about gas prices. And
Well, we were talking
hotels.
about how much it costs to ride one of those little taxi-like things they have over there.
Yeah, wasn't it like
oh,
a half a
yeah.
U.S. penny or something?
Yeah, something like that. Jordan,
Yeah.
that's one way to put it when you're pressure washing pig pens.
Well, we do that for the fair here in town every year. The fire department goes out there and gets hose training for the firemen, and we go out there and wash all the animal pens out for the 4-H every year. That's a hot job. And I ended up hammering one of the trucks last year, and the guy had ended up like straddling the hose, and when I hammered it, it hit him right in the
The nether
And he-
regions.
And he started stumbling, and he came over that truck red-faced and mad, and I walked away. I said,
I was
I
about
will be
ready to
back when
say,
he cools off.
you got punched in the face, didn't you?
I was about ready to, and then I came back and I said, look, I said, I'm sorry. I said, but if I need to go straddle that hose and you need to hammer it to call it even, I said, that's what it can be, but I said, just don't make me all bloody.
Midge, honestly, I have the Omatanas installed. I haven't tried them yet. I like what they do, though. Lots and lots of different products that can be made. And I have been using one of her sale points, but I have not directly used it. I know there are smaller productions. They're not producing as much as the bigger productions do because they're almost hobby farm kind, and she explains it too. And her description is, these are sideline occupations on a farm. These aren't primary production points. And they're all built into farm style buildings as opposed to industrial factory type things. But they look really, really cool, and I am intrigued by what she has done. And I love Omatana's work, and even Caveman, who's a fantastic modder in his own right, has said that he thinks Omatana may just be his favorite modder these days.
Welcome to the channel, Psych.
And yeah, Psych, thank you so much for subscribing. Very much appreciate it. Good to have you with us. Easy Rider's buying a boat and fishing and bowling. There you go. There's a retirement I can get behind.
I am not worth a crap at bowling. The ex-girlfriend bowled for like actual competitions and stuff, and she was good, but man, she showed me my pedigree pretty quick.
Define good.
She made it all the way to state in Indiana with it.
What was her average
was-
score?
About 200 a game.
That's respectable. I won't say that's good, but it's respectable.
She
Yeah,
got
that's
200.
respectable.
Yeah, I mean, but being just high school, it's not like she was pro. It was high school bowling, so It's not like it was college bowling or
All right.
professional. But
I saw that. I was actually looking through mods on Mod Hub today just to see if there's anything I had missed that looked interesting, and I saw that it's almost like an outdoor greenhouse, a greenhouse that has no top on it, or whatever you want to call it, just a garden. Yeah, Omatana does some really interesting stuff. In fact, we're using her silo as our primary silo on this map right now.
That we are.
They're simple, they're easy to use, they only cost $30,000, and they hold 5,000 liters. So, why wouldn't I use an Omatana silo?
and yes, Mr. Green Jeans, I am a Hoosier, and I am very proud of it.
That's right.
Harv was a Hoosier.
Harv, well, there are some people who would say Harv still is a Hoosier, whether he likes it or not.
I agree, but I was just gonna say was just to be friendly.
I grew up in Indiana, spent the first 30 plus years of my life there, moved to Idaho for about 15, moved back to Indiana for another 4, and I currently live in Nevada, and I have no plans of leaving the Northwest again. I love it here. But yeah, I'm a Hoosier by birth, let's put it that way.
I tell you what, my retirement plan is the mountains in Colorado. That's where I want to be when I retire.
Well, you better contact, we haven't heard from him in a long time, Matt.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Wow. It's been a minute.
That's right, Lifehawk. I'm a Hoosier hoser, eh? Since I'm here by the fuel station, I should probably grab some diesel.
It's too expensive. Run it dry.
So I'm going, yeah, because I won't
I'm
have
s-
I won't have to fill up after that.
Yeah. But I'm serious though, like
Cheaper in the
diesel's
game
almost
than it is in real life.
yeah. But diesel in real life's about cheaper almost any more than petrol is. Yes, I
Petrol.
called it petrol. Yeah.
You've been talking to too many of our British cousins. Nice, Jordan. 4 strikes in a row. I got real serious into bowling when I was a teenager, and my dad even bought me a ball, which is surprising, for Christmas though. And he had a friend who was a professional, or on the professional level of bowling at least, and he had the holes drilled custom drilled just for the size of my hands at the time, and had these special little plastic grips put inside of the holes in the ball and all kinds of funky stuff. And I was doing okay, but the best laid plans and all that happy horse crap. Mr. Green Jeans, where in northern Indiana? If you don't mind being more specific, I am intrigued. Yeah, I've got no plans to return to Indiana at this point either. I got to be honest with you. I was just having a conversation with my nephew this evening about, because he spent about 10 years in Texas and he doesn't ever want to go back to Texas. And I said, that's how I feel about Indiana. I said, I moved out to the Northwest for 15 years and I thought getting back closer to everybody would be a good thing. And I just realized how much I hated being back in the Midwest. Not that I don't love seeing my family and everything, but God.
Well, that's the way I felt. I was like, I needed to get out of this little town that I live in now, and I was like, well, let me go to the big city. Let's see how that goes. And I hated every minute of it. I never thought I would get homesick, but I did. And I ended up coming back, and I said, never again. I said, I am staying here. I'm going to settle myself, and I am going to make a life. I said, that's it. I said, 4 months of the big city, and I'm done.
Oh, yeah, I know LaPorte, Mr. Green Jeans. Up in the region.
That's
if it wasn't you, I've had a discussion with somebody recently on the channel about the region.
that's almost the Michigan border, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
It's up there.
Because some of my dad's relation lives up in Hammond.
Well, Hammond is right next to Gary, which is close to Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bordering two states almost, yeah.
LaPorte is more central, as I
gotcha.
recall, closer to South Bend, Notre Dame area.
I was just up in Bloomington today.
Up in Bloomington south of Indianapolis.
Well, I know, I'm down back in Knox County now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's up from us. I went up there to get a trailer for something we're doing with the fire department. Went up to Cracker Barrel and ate and had a good time today. I enjoyed myself.
That's right, Mr. Green Jeans. That's absolutely right. Yes, Joyce DeWitt was your cousin. I do remember that. Very cool. Mr. E's living in Houston, and I'm sorry. I did see you come in, Mr. E, and I apologize. I normally try to give everybody a shout out. I don't always catch everybody because we're in the midst of conversation or whatnot. But welcome to the stream, and if you can get out of Houston, where do you want to go, man? Midge, the fruitcake capital of the world. I'm almost afraid to ask, what is the fruitcake capital of the world? And is that literally or figuratively? I can't help but ask.
My definition of that would be figuratively, but it's against channel policy, so I'll keep it to myself.
Well, for you, that would be Indianapolis, since that's where you just moved back from, so.
No, I was thinking the P word that you absolutely despise being on the channel.
I don't even know what word you're talking about.
Politics.
Oh, politics? No. No politics.
Yeah. I know. That's why I said I'll keep it to myself.
Oh, okay. Alabama to Houston. That's quite a hike, man.
I always wanted to try and live down in the South, but it's too darn hot.
You and Forrest Gump. You should move back to Greenbow, Alabama. Who has the best weather in the United States with no snakes or gators and on an ocean? That's where I want to go. Probably Southern California, Lifehawk. Depends on whether you can deal with humidity or not. If you can deal with the humidity, the East Coast is where you want to go. If you like it a little more dry, the West Coast. I mean, the best weather is really kind of relative, isn't it?
Depends on your definition of best weather.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, do you like getting snow in the winter and it being hot in the summer? Or you like it cold year round? Do you like it hot year round?
I mean, if I had to choose, I'd say I'd have to keep it cold. I mean, being a firefighter, you'd think, oh, he can handle the heat. Not with the weather. I mean, in fire, that's something different. But in the weather, I cannot do humidity. Cannot breathe in humid weather.
I hate the humidity, but I love the dry heat, and do not give me anything below 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'd say if it was 70, between 60 and 75 year-round with sun and a light north breeze, I'd be happy.
Well, who wouldn't be?
That would be like paradise. Yeah, I think Hawaii would be a good choice.
I've heard that, Midge. Hawaii is a very expensive place to live.
Well, I mean, think about it. You got to get everything shipped to you by boat from the U.S., pretty much.
Yeah, it's more than just that. It's demand, actually. I think it's such a nice place that there's not as much room for everybody who would like to be there, so everything is in higher demand.
Makes sense.
But you raise a good point too. Yeah, I hear that argument all the time, Mystery. I have an ex who who was always complaining about, well, you've never had to deal with menopause. I'm like, yeah, well, you've never had to freeze perpetually because somebody was dealing with menopause. I hate being cold. I don't want to have to bundle up in my own bloody house. I don't want to wear 17 layers of clothing and feel like my arms are pinned to the side of my body, or I can't lower them properly because I'm like the little frickin' kid in A Christmas Story who's bundled up way too much for what the weather is. I hates it.
Oh, it could be 20 degrees outside, and I'm still running a fan in my bedroom.
That's because
just me.
you're ridiculous.
I'm serious. I don't know if it's like the sound or if it's just the airflow that like.
It's the sound.
Something about the airflow just relaxes me. I don't know.
It's the sound. It's like those people who have to have white noise playing.
Right now, I can't afford a fan. I know. I just donated $28, but I can't afford a fan, right?
I was about to say you could have bought a fan with that $28, but I appreciate it.
Hey, no, it's no problem. It's not hot anyway. They're going to put a new AC unit in where I'm staying Monday anyway, so it's going to be nice and chilly in here. Woo, yes, sir. I am ready for that. But I play rain noises while I'm asleep.
Well,
and that helps me sleep.
That's the white noise I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my dad's house, I had a big 24-inch industrial steel fan. Ooh, that sucker was loud. Drown out anything but my sister. Love her to death, but goodness.
Well, Mr. Green Jeans was, he's got family who lives in Hawaii for 35 years, and they know all about how expensive that is. Harv can't put his arms down. That's about the size of it.
Well, I tell you what, too, the Army's got a real good, nice setup out there in Hawaii, and a lot of the guys that go into the Army request to go to Hawaii because the Army gives them, like, big discounts. They get big discounts with the restaurants out there, and apparently they get on-base living and everything, so, like, they want to go out there and retire with the Army out there, and then they get everything pretty well covered out there in Hawaii. I'm like, that would be the perfect deal right there.
You talking about the Army or the Navy?
Both. They've got Army and Navy out there. Apparently one of the Army bases is
okay.
or it's one of the branches, I don't remember, but and apparently one of them like takes up part of the beach or something, and it's pretty nice. I mean, a lot of people request to go there in the services because they give you like a real good setup after you retire. They pretty much take care of everything for you. So a lot of people out there are retired service people too, from what I've heard. I don't know, never been out there, but
all right. Well,
My friend that's in the Marines said Japan was really nice when he was out there.
Japan would be nice. I'd love to visit Japan one day.
a visit, yeah, I don't think I could stay there though. That's just me, just the way I was raised, but
What do you mean?
it would
the way
definitely
you-
be.
the way you were raised. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, it's hard to explain, but because my dad was in the Vietnam War, so it's kind of like a blood hatred kind of thing.
That's
but,
not Japan. That's Vietnam.
No, but he looks at them all the same. It's difficult, like I said. It's weird. but
That's his
it's my
problem. You
father.
don't have to make it yours.
I know.
Exactly.
That's why I said I'd love to visit it. Love to visit. I've heard it's a beautiful, beautiful country.
Especially in the spring when all the cherry blossoms are in bloom.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
And
Hey, come on. Asian women are beautiful.
yeah, that too.
I'm
Gotta
not
disagree
I'm
with
not
you.
trying to be a sexist pig or anything. I mean, I'm genuinely just saying can we not say that the opposite sex is attractive anymore without being cancel cultured? Asian women are beautiful women.
And don't forget, it's legal to drink in public in Japan.
There you go.
Not be drunk, but drink. And social drinks with coworkers at some places of business are not optional. They're required.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
Wait, what's required?
Drinks with coworkers.
A social alcoholic beverage.
Yep.
Wow, 39 countries. Or 19 countries. 39 states and 19 countries. I've been to about 46 or 47 of the continental United States. And I've got Canada and Mexico under my belt, but that's as good as it gets for Harv.
I tell you, one place that I'd really want to visit, like a country, would have to be Greenland. Or Scotland, or yeah, something like that.
If I were going to Scandinavia or that general vicinity, Norway or Sweden, or even Finland would be on my list. Denmark, Scandinavia in general, man, that's big on my list these days. Faded Fool, dude, thank you so much for dropping in to say how much you got out of the Ravenport series, man. You're in good company. A lot of these people got started the same way. And it's always nice to hear that that series is still helping people, even though we are in the new version of the game these days. But that's kind of been my claim to fame, what little bit of fame I have. Which you can see.
Well, I mean,
I don't garner a huge following, but the people I have are loyal, dedicated, and incredibly friendly.
but what's nice about that is they kept all the same button layouts, so it helps people even with FS22, because if they're coming in just wanting to know, like, hey, what does this do? What does this not do? You know, the buttons are the same between the games, so it's still really helpful.
That's a fair point.
And the same basis, you know, precision farming's a little different, but when you made that walkthrough, precision farming wasn't even a thought. So, you know, it's like the basic of the game is the same, except just better graphics and a better system behind it.
Yeah, there's some nice, like I said, you know, quality of life changes that were made in 22 that really do make a difference.
I would have to say they really improved the GUI, if you really want to go technical with it. Yes, I agree. The menu is so much streamlined. And then a good keyboard shortcut that a lot of people may not know is your left shift P will pull up your build menu.
People say the store is a lot better.
Well, I didn't know that shortcut. I'm glad you mentioned it. Left shift P does bring up your build menu.
Yep, Caveman seen that the other day, and he's like, "Oh my God!" He said, "You just made a lot of life so much better." And I ran across it by accident, and I'm like, "Well, man, I need to spread this like wildfire because this is sweet."
And I love hotkeys.
I do too.
Give me hotkeys all day long. Jordan's had family who's visited Iceland. Very cool, nice. Jordan.
Am I the only one that still doesn't like the new escape menu?
I think it's fine.
So I'm like the only one that doesn't like it.
You're apparently the only one who doesn't like it.
The only thing that I would say is we need an improved, like we had an F11. We need an F11 bad in 22. That's the only mod that I really want to see right now.
Easy dev controls.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The ones we have now they're okay, but they're not anything what it was in 19 by no means.
It would be nice if somebody would get around to updating that thing, but honestly, since I don't have it and I can't play with it, I'm not missing it nearly as much. But then I'm not doing video creation right now either. If I was doing video creation, I'd probably be missing it a lot more.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Well,
I
see, and that's why I'm
miss
not
it for
really.
mod testing.
Yeah.
I
See, that's
mean,
why I'm not really into YouTube right now, because there's really no way to set up a farm, without a bunch of pre-work, which I don't have a problem with it, but if I'm going to be getting a job, full-time job and everything, I just ain't going to have the time for it.
I hear you.
I know.
That's
I
where
know
I'm
you
at.
do.
I mean, that's why I stream on Fridays when I can, and Sundays for sure. We're off our normal streaming schedule. I honestly just can't do videos right now because I was telling my nephew tonight, this new job, I'm in a training program and it's very mentally intensive. There's a lot to learn in a short amount of time. I need to focus all of my mental energy on that, and trying to do both at the same time, I would be cutting you guys short because work has to be the priority.
Yes.
And I
Especially
refuse to put out crappy videos.
especially in today's economy, you almost have to go to work, man. Especially if you're on like Social Security. I don't know how you're still doing it. I really don't. I couldn't imagine living off Social Security anymore. My dad does it every month, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
Well,
He-
yeah, there's a difference, and I do not mean this in any condescending way whatsoever, but there's very much a difference between a kid perspective and adult perspective. And yes, I realize that legally you're an adult FF, but at the same time, you're what, 18, 19?
Gonna be 19 in June.
You're 19 years old. You don't know what an adult perspective is. And
I
a
do.
lot of the crap that I very much grew up in a place where it was learn to do without. And I took that lesson deeply to heart. Probably too much so, because I can just about talk myself out of buying anything. And it's just a different perspective. Nobody's wrong, nobody's right, but and especially guys as old as your dad, Vietnam era and all that. First of all, we learn to do without. Second of all, we don't have the financial needs that the younger generation has.
Honestly, I don't think it's financial needs. I think it's more anymore of financial wants. And I
I'm
will,
not entirely sure it's gotten that bad yet, but I understand your point.
because that's the hardest thing that I've had to learn in the past month of moving out of my dad's house is a want versus a need. My dad always tried to preach to me. I'm like, yeah, whatever, and then it's like, holy crap, he was right this whole time.
Well,
It's like,
that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking
right.
about learn to do without.
Like I was out, that was when I was still working at the dollar store, and I was like, man, I really want that case of pop, but I'm like, wait, I need socks, I need deodorant, it's like, would I rather have clothes and smell good or have something that's gonna do me no good?
Yep.
And I think at some level, a lot of kids need that, maybe for not permanently, but maybe some kids parents need to be like, hey, you go do this for 6 months and you come back and then we'll go from there, but it's just my opinion on it.
Well,
I think it would mature the new generation a lot quicker, honestly do.
Well, and I've always thought that my parents should have kicked us out of their house sooner.
I agree.
As much as we were taught to learn to do without, and we grew up poor, my parents still allowed us to stay in their home far too long. So,
I wasn't made to leave. I could have stayed, but I wanted that independence. I wanted that experience. And yeah, it's a struggle, but it is what it is, and I want it. I want to take on that task because I got to learn eventually. I got a kid on the way. I ain't got time to mess around.
yep.
I gotta provide. I can't expect to be provided for.
And I'm spent. Thank God all the bloody harvesting is done.
Now, where is this going? To the silo or to the mills?
Wherever.
To the mills?
Stick it wherever you want to stick it.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm taking it to the mill.
I gotta catch up with everybody here. Mr. E, I'm behind. I'm behind the curve on this. Mr. E, him and his wife wanted to play something chill, and they found my YouTube, and 5 months ago. Oh wow, that's cool, man. You and your wife together wanting to play video games. That is awesome. Like, I don't know, people give video games a bad rap, and then you've got couples who it's what they do with each other, and I find that incredibly awesome. And 5 years from now, whenever you decide to have kids or whatnot, that'll be something you can do with your kids. There are a lot of positives to video games that people do not often give them credit for. And no, I'm not just justifying my own BS here. This is scientifically proven BS. N boys, how you doing, man? Good to have you with us. I'm sorry I didn't catch up with you sooner, but glad to have you here. Yeah, I wish there was a little bit better way to organize your production facilities, because we don't really have that much of a start on this map, and we've already got a bunch of production facilities working now. Especially now that we have the new storage sheds that actually do what they're supposed to do. Those things are an amazing addition and a bit of a game changer to the whole production facilities situation here.
Yeah, not to mention that we have the no handcuffs mod.
And the no handcuffs mod, which Caveman did link in our Discord, which is basically, on Mod Hub there is the Industrial Bakery, which is a 5-time speed bakery. Well, the no handcuffs mod is a 5-time speed everything, with additional storage. That's fair point, Faded Fool. Harvesting is never done. Oh, 12 and 14. So you and your wife are both looking for something chill to play. Although Farm Sim, might be a little bit too tame for a 12 and a 14-year-old. Although I used to have a guy from the UK. I miss this guy too. His name was Rusty. He was such a bright guy. I kind of feel like, because he played with his kids a lot, and I kind of feel like he moved on from the game. But he used to drop into streams. He left some of the best comments on my videos, on my video series. He had been all over the world, visited many places. Rusty, if you're out there, don't ever think that you were forgotten about, buddy. Anyway, K-Man, what do you think about merging 20 and 21?
Go for it.
Well, I'm gonna mulch them first. So I was thinking if you wanted to come down and merge them, merge and expand.
I'll do that. You go ahead and start that mulch line right there in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, that's about what I was gonna do. I was gonna try to swing the outside, do a headland real quick, and then come down the middle. And if you wanted to bring a plow over, we could. Oh, that's nice, Faded Fool. That's cool, actually. I love to hear the stories about folks who play with their kids. I really do. And I agree with you. This isn't, as we talked about earlier, Lifehawk, this isn't a genuine simulation. You're not going to learn pure farming from this. But you are going to learn some things about about agriculture in general, and at the same time, this game does require a certain level of patience, the ability to understand, know, and deal with repetitive and tedious tasks. And that's not to take anything away from the game, but let's face it, farming is doing the same thing over and over again, month after month, year after year. And if you want to be a successful farmer, that's what you learn to do. It is what it is. I mean, are you just not going to go out and feed your cows every morning because you decide you're tired of doing the same thing over and over again? No, that would be stupid. Anyway, money management, that's a good point too. Very good. Wait a minute, Mr. Green Jeans. Oh. Has two kids. One is 41 and the other is 6. That's quite a spread. OverD'd on Viagra one time. That's classic. But no, you opted to adopt. That's cool though. Too many kids left in the world that weren't able to get adopted. Whoa! See, this is why I like a weight on the front of the fence sometimes. Because this Stevie's version, the 1050T, can get a little squirrely sometimes. Especially when you're going Mach 72 with a big field roller behind you.
Just a little bit of weight back there. I mean,
to be fair, the quad track sometimes gets a little squirrely with that thing behind it.
It's heavy. And especially since we're playing with the real speed mod, you get up to speeds where this will push you in the wrong direction if you're going too fast. Alright, Caveman, that center strip is done. It's all mulched and ready to go. Right, Mr. E? I played the original Civilization on an Amiga, an Atari Amiga, if anybody remembers those. Fantastic computers for their day. Yeah, Civilization is a great game, and you're right, it can't all be first-person shooters and constant action all the time. Gotta learn patience.
alrighty, boys. Well, those bangs are starting to wear off, so I think I'm gonna head to bed. I just figured I'd stop in and say hi to everybody and hang out for a little bit. So,
Well, I appreciate it,
have a
man.
good night, guys.
Alrighty.
You too, and
You have a good night.
watch out for those energy drinks. They'll get to you.
Oh, I know. I used to drink 2 a day with 12-hour shifts, and when I stopped, I crashed for about a week. So it's pretty bad. So I've cut way back.
Well, good. Closest I get to an energy drink is a strong cup of coffee.
Hey, maybe you ought to try coffee.
Bangs aren't that bad for you though.
No. All I see are all of the silly what can I call them on my stream without being too. All of the bikini girls on Instagram constantly doing all of the Bang Energy stupid little videos that they do. Which, by the way, ladies, are ridiculous. And if you're going to do those, you should probably get a professional to help you with them. Or call me, I'll help.
Yeah.
Shooting those kind of videos can't be much different than shooting a music video, right?
They can't be much different from shooting a farm sim video, really.
I've shot quite a few music videos.
So there you go. Anyhow, Lifehawk is looking for someone to adopt him. If there are any takers, please contact him directly. He is not affiliated, at least not directly, with Harv's World in any way, shape, or form, and we take no responsibility for your adoption of said Lifehawk.
Thank you, Lifehawk. Come on down.
Oh, I think Too Cool wants to adopt Lifehawk.
Yeah, we can do that. Come on down.
There you go. Too Cool and Lifehawk together. I'm not sure about that. I'm a little bit nervous about that myself, and I don't even have to be a part of it.
It'd work out just fine.
So, have you become a Forza 5 junkie too? Too Cool since Lifehawk got involved in all that?
No, afraid not. No. I've been on New Bartleshagen for a month or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just a pretty straightforward little map, but it's fun.
Yeah, I got into Oxygen David's first release, Combs and Farm, quite a bit. I enjoyed that. Played the crap out of it,
Yeah,
but finally burned it out.
yeah, that's the stage I'm in. I'm kind of looking for something else. The problem is you do all your planting and your harvesting, and then you have some downtime, and of course you can always do grass, but again I'm waiting on the productions, and I got olive oil. I think there's canola oil and sunflower oil that I'm just all waiting on.
Right.
Kind of bored, I mean, I can find something to do, but I want something to do.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Eric. That was news that I'm kind of disappointed to hear, to be honest with you. But life goes on. Maybe it's a different Rusty.
Oh, snap. I just realized you hadn't completely done this side of the field yet.
Which side?
Part where I was plowing, you hadn't completely done it yet.
Yeah, I have. That's the side you're on right now?
No, the side you're getting ready to go up.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't loading in for me. And I was like, okay, well, he's been doing a lot of it. He's probably done this part by now.
Yeah, done enough. It doesn't matter. It's all good. The Brewers mod mystery. What's the Brewers mod? Have I been missing something here?
Apparently both of us have. Because I haven't heard of the Brewers mod either.
Yeah. And then Mr. Green Jeans is talking about one of the maps includes hops farming with beer production. I've been missing that boat too.
Bam. Some days I think me and you were in the wrong boat.
Yeah, I felt that way my whole life.
I'll be right back. Gotta see if they're done loading this trailer.
All right.
Okay.
Paul, you're becoming the field creator master. How's that? What map is it, Mystery? On this map here? Well, I know you said Hobo's Hollow, which is the map that we're on. That's an interesting challenge, Midge. You cannot own any farmland, so all of your income has to derive from other things. So even if you clear off a big patch of forestry, you can't plow a field. That's kind of a cool idea, actually. Yes, the Commodore 64 was a different computer from the Amiga, but they were both made by Commodore. Atari and Amiga are two completely different companies. I don't ever recall hearing about a Commodore Atari. Just call me crazy. We actually were talking about that earlier, Eric, or Mystery, and it's not multiplayer compatible yet. In fact, Caveman was working with or helping out one of the guys on the Elk Mountain modding team, and they specifically told him, if you're doing multiplayer, don't play Elk Mountain yet. It's not ready for multiplayer, right, Caveman?
It wasn't the map that's not ready, and it wasn't Elk Mountain modding. It was the terraforming mod.
Oh,
It was not multiplayer stable yet.
I gotcha. Well, you don't have to plow this whole thing, by the way.
Why not?
We have
We
a
don't have to worry
direct
about weeds.
we have a direct drill and a big weeder. So if you want to do 9 meters at a time versus 30 plus meters at a time, be my guest.
Plowing's more relaxing than weeding.
Is that right?
Yep.
I adore my 64. Every new field you've prepared in No Man's Land is perfectly squared. There are some people that would argue that a perfectly square field is boring. I'm not one of them, but there are people, and I've heard this before, who want those misshapen, tight fields with bushes and shrubs and garbage all around them. But you're a master field maker in my book.
You can't be a master field maker until somebody else has named the field you created after you.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. It's been a good week, but a long week. And we just have some more general field prep to do here. Nothing too dramatic. But we should be making lots of canola oil at this point. Lots of bread, lots of flour. And prepping our fields for winter crops. Otherwise, that's about it. K-Man, you got any final parting thoughts or words you want to interject before we call it a day?
Want to confirm that we'll see them on Sunday.
We will see them on Sunday, right back here on Hobo's Hollow.
Okay, well, hopefully to catch everybody back here on Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
See y'all, guys.
All right, too cool. Have a safe trip, man.
Yep.
Have a safe trip.
And with that, folks, thank you all so much for a fun Friday evening. A few adult beverages, some casual gameplay. We will see you on Sunday. We very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.